Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the HGUC The-O from Zeta Gundam. This was one of the iconic mobile suits in the series, and to be fair, I don't really see much post or reviews of this kit too often, so I decided to check it out myself. And first of all, I really love the design and bulk of this kit. Of course, it's kind of an old kit. It's basically what in my standards, it's before number 52 HGUC Marseille, so that I consider anything before the HGUC Marseille kind of one of the old kits. However, despite its age, it's a pretty good quality in terms of design and quality, in my own opinion. So I'm pretty surprised as well. And this was also piloted by the famous Optimus Sirico from the Titans. And the Z-O, being a special mobile suit, it has a lot of biosensors in it, so it can be only used by him himself. So, aside to that, let's get on to the review. First of all, what you get, of course, is the Z-O itself. And then what else you get is, of course, some leftover polycaps. And also, sorry for if you see any of the lights in my booth, because this kit is kind of bigger and bulkier than most high-grade Universal Century, so I had to back up my camcorder to show you guys the entire thing. You also get a beam rifle and a trigger finger. And I believe the special thing about this beam rifle, well, nothing too special by the kit or build itself, is that this beam rifle is supposed to be like a quick reload functioning beam rifle, because as far as I know, this bottom section is the ammo clip or energy clip. And you get 4 beam saber effects. Now, as far as I know, I heard the master grade only comes with 2, but you actually get 4, and all of them all have this bented shape into it, so that's a very good add-on or effect. And lastly, you get a sticker sheet, but surprisingly, you only get 4 stickers, and 4 of them are red, and they all go to the feet. So I'm just going to show you where they exactly go. So there's nothing else, only those 4 red stickers. Here are where they go, the feet. They use 4 of these, and that's it. So no monoeyes, no other sticker. Okay, so that's that. Now let's get on to the review. I'm kind of curious why one of the famous Titans mobile suit has never been, made a review of it properly. My guess is either it's really rare or the price is the main problem. Now, first of all, as mentioned, you only get 4 stickers and you do not get any decals. So I actually used 4 decals, 2 being the Titans were decals I got from the gym 2. One is on the front I put on, and one is on the back skirt armor, like over right there. And the other 2 is, as you can see on the shoulders, I added the Titans symbol. Actually, I messed up one, so I'm thinking of removing it. So let's get on to the review. First of all, the color separation is pretty impressive. Most of the parts are like, I'm not gonna say like anime accurate, but they did separate most of the colors properly. Number 2 is that this kit is one of those kits that kind of requires you to do some panel lining, because some parts, if you don't do panel lining, they may look a little bit awkward. I'm just gonna say this. So I will mention what part I actually did panel lining, since there's not much since I already mentioned all the stickers. Alright, now let's get on to the head part. The head part was the most interesting part. Also, for now, the black sections inside here, those come in the same yellow as this, and if you see the image of the box, the inside of these are black, including this section right over here. So that's what I just used a panel line marker to color that, the GM01, the Gundam marker. This is the one I use, so just letting you guys know. The only main issue regarding the color separation is that all these thrusters, I believe, the black sections are okay, but all the inside has to be, I believe, green or some sort. So that's that. Now the head, as mentioned, was the most interesting part, because especially the monoeye, because usually you would expect to put a whatchamacallit, a sticker, but this one, on the other hand, you get this small pink piece with 2 pegs on it, and you put a black piece on one of the pegs, and that pink peg has become the monoeye, so which is a very interesting feature. And despite the bulk of the kit, the head looks a little bit small, or the monoeye looks very small. So the head can go down that much, and then up that much, the ball, and then 360 not really possible because of the hindrance of these parts. That's that. Now let's look at the main body. The Main body, I didn't really do much paneling on the main body because not much really bothered me. As mentioned, I put a sticker. Now, on overall these kit, you might see these pipe effects. Now, for me back then, I usually don't really care about these pipes, so I would have just built it. But at the same time, for me, I think it was the color. It looked really awkward to just use them as they are. So I actually had to do some panel lining on the pipes, and they were annoying. I'm just gonna say that, but they turned out pretty well than I thought, being my first attempt. So that's that. The body itself, it's pretty bulky, and you don't really get much movement. That's all you get, and no ab crunch since it is an old kit. And before I go to the arms, I want to check the back. Now, this thing has a very gigantic backpack with all the thrusters. Now, once again, I didn't do any panel lining on the backpack, only on this back antenna thing, especially these lines. I could have done more, but I feel like this is enough for me, for my taste. So, of course, yeah, they turned out pretty well, except for this side. I might need to scrub off a little bit more just to make sure they look even enough. But that's that. So, let's get on to the arms. There's nothing moved on the body itself. Now for the arms are pretty. They look pretty standard in my opinion. Of course, instead of having a ball joint, the main shoulder has a peg going on, and you have to connect it to a polycap that's inside the main body. So the shoulder can move pretty well. It can go forward and backward like that. And once again, kind of requires you to do some panel lining. I actually checked the box, and mostly it sort of like looked like it was emphasizing these lines here, back and front like that, and then this round area on the top, and this black section. That's where I did the panel lining on the arms. I also did the panel lining here, front and back as well, and the pipes. Okay, so for the bend, you only get a 90-degree bend on the arm, which is I'm not too surprised because of the age as well, and considering the bulk of the kit, and also on the arm itself, there's also these stripes here. I also panel lined those as well. 90 degrees bend, and since it is on a peg, spinning it 360 won't be possible, or gonna be tricky. It's technically possible. Okay, it is possible, but sometimes these thrusters, or because of this being a peg, there might be some limitations time to time. And then you have your typical 360 twist on the arm, and you have your standard ball jointed hand. That's that. Okay, now let's look at the front skirt. Oh, also this part does move as well for some reason. They do move, and that will allow you to move the arm a little bit to the side, but not too much because all this stuff going on. Okay, now for the waist section. The waist is kind of the main big finale in my opinion. Once again, this section over here, I did a panel. I used a paneling marker here, so it turned out pretty well, nice and clean. And all these thrusters all over the place, especially on thrusters. The only green thrusters you get are here. And as mentioned, one of the big main features of the Z-O are these arms that are hidden under the front skirt. I will show these functions later, but for now I just want to show you guys how that works. And so the front skirt are individually articulated. They're on ball joints, and they do move quite a while, but they don't try to stay on too well, because I think it's because of the weight, or it's just a weak connection. While building this, there are some parts that feel loose but aren't really loose, but at the same time they're not really fragile, but they do feel fragile. Okay, let me do this. Now I was pretty surprised with this part, the side skirts. That black section I colored in, panel lined. You can actually store the beam sabers onto the side skirt. I wasn't expecting this gimmick, but as you can see, you can pull off of these beam sabers. So you in total get 4 beam sabers, hilts in total. So that's that, and it can move a little bit like that. And the back skirt armor, very big and fat, big back skirt armor. Once again, I did some panel lining over here and there. And yeah, it doesn't move too much. I mean, it's connected to a polycap joint, so it does have some movement, but it doesn't really like to stay on too much because of the weight issues. And also, if you want to know, like the bottom of the feet or inside of the back skirt, there's a lot of the panel line. I didn't really do those because I don't think they were really too crucial in my own opinion. So that's that. Okay. And now let's look at the legs. Very, very, very big, giant feet and legs. Those black sections over there, they just come in the same yellow. You have to color those in black. I did some panel lining here, and on the back of the feet, these um, lines as well. Also, you can see all these pipes going through the leg. Very interesting gimmick, just like the Master Grade. I also colored all the pipes just to make sure they have this consistency, and that's that. Despite having large legs, they don't really have much movement as well because all this armor. You can move it a little bit front, but that's pretty much it. Bending it as much, I wish I could bend more, but this is as far as you go. Less than 90 degrees, I believe. All the legs they don't have any side swivels. They're just connected to your typical ball joints with using polycaps, and your feet are your typical ball jointed feet. That's all. And there are some movements here, but I'm not really sure what these are. Anyway, the Z-O in the anime or any game, despite its size and bulk, it's really I'm not sure agile is the best pronunciation or not the best term, but it does move pretty fast than you think. Okay, now we've seen the main mobile suit itself. Now let's look at its accessories. There's not much. The only long range weapon being this beam rifle. Also, again, you get this separate pipe section. I also panel line those as well. You just plug it in to the hand, and it works pretty well in my opinion. Like that. Just your standard beam rifle style, no problem at all. Now, I guess I should show the main finales, I guess. Now, I'm just going to use one beam saber. Once again, they just plug into the beam saber hilt pretty well, and then on the hand, you just slide in. However, this being an old kid, it will slide off pretty easily if you're not careful, like that. So that's that. Doesn't really have much issues holding it itself. I mean, it's pretty much what you expect from a beam saber, holding hand. And then lastly, does the claw arm hold it pretty well? And my answer is yes. I'm just gonna demonstrate with one. Once again, if the front skirt could actually hold on or like stay in one position, it would be really nice. The claw arms or hands on the front skirt does not really function like claws. They're just one single piece. What you do is they will be like this. You twist it 90 degrees. They're not on ball joints, they're just on standard pegs. And you have two joints here, one for the actual arm itself and then one for the other side to bend it in through. What you do is you just push it in. That's all. It's not too easy, but sometimes it does go in easy, but sometimes it doesn't really come out easy. And once again, that's pretty much it. That's how it holds it. It's kind of tricky to position. The only way you can position it is like that, by twisting the claw hand, and that's that. So in total, since you got 4 beam saber hilts and beam saber effects, you can give one on each hand and then one for each arm. Once again, for being an old kid, it does what the Z-O does. So I'm really satisfied with this kit, and I can really recommend this to anyone. Anyway, that's it. That's it for the review of the HGUC The-O. Once again, this is a very old kit, but at the same time, it's a very satisfying kit. Of course, it does require some panel lining to make it look even better. So that's that. It has all the main features of the Z-O has. So I would recommend this to mostly anybody, but for beginners, if you want something big, this is definitely your kit. But at the same time, if you're not really too familiar with the Z-O, I don't really recommend it. For now, because of the age and some limited articulations, I think this could use a revive kit, maybe some more articulations on the arms. The legs, I don't expect too much articulation, but more on I wish there were some more features or movement going on with the claw arms on the front skirt and some more stable, stability in the waist armor. Because of the weight, it's not going to be too stable. And maybe some moving monoeyes in the head, but that's just me. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the review. Almost forgot. Those who have no idea how big this is, here's a comparison with the HGUC Hyakushiki Revive. As you can see the difference in bulk and size and height. So that's that. Anyways, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the HGUC The-O. If you have any questions or requests, leave a comment below. If I got anything wrong, leave a comment below as well. I still have more kits to buy and build, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.